The moment you stop waiting, everything shifts. Stoicism. Most people believe their life will begin later. Later when they feel ready. Later when the timing is perfect. Later when confidence arrives, when motivation appears, when circumstances improve. The Stoics understood something dangerous about this mindset. Waiting quietly becomes a habit, and habits become a life. The moment you stop waiting is not dramatic or loud. Nothing explodes. No one applauds. But internally, everything shifts. Because the moment you stop waiting, you reclaim the only thing you ever truly owned: your agency. Stoicism teaches that the future does not owe you clarity, permission, or certainty. Marcus Aurelius warned that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and waiting is imagination disguised as patience. Waiting feels responsible. It feels thoughtful. But most waiting is fear wearing a reasonable mask. Fear of being seen trying. Fear of failing publicly. Fear of discovering that you are capable of more and then having no excuse left. The Stoic does not wait for fear to disappear. He acts while fear is present, because virtue is proven in motion, not comfort. The shift happens when you realize that readiness is not a prerequisite for action. Action creates readiness. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose our external conditions, but we can always choose our response. Waiting hands that choice away. It delays responsibility. It tells the mind, not yet, over and over, until not yet becomes never. The Stoic response is simple and brutal: do what must be done now, imperfectly, without negotiation with the mind. When you stop waiting, you stop asking the world to change first. You stop blaming timing, people, or circumstances. You stop measuring your potential against imaginary futures. Instead, you narrow your focus to this moment and this decision. That is where Stoic power lives. Not in grand plans or future identities, but in present discipline. One decision made without delay carries more weight than 1,000 intentions postponed. Everything shifts because your identity shifts. You are no longer someone who prepares endlessly. You become someone who moves. The Stoics believed character is formed through repeated action, not thought. Each time you act despite uncertainty, you reinforce a new self-image. Someone who does not wait to feel ready. Someone who does not need permission. Someone who understands that discomfort is not a signal to stop, but a sign that growth is occurring. The world begins to respond differently as well, not because it has changed, but because you have. Opportunities were always present, but waiting blinded you to them. Once you act, clarity follows. Confidence follows. Momentum follows. The Stoics never chased motivation, they chased alignment with reason and virtue. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is not. The moment you stop waiting, discipline takes the lead, and discipline reshapes your life quietly, day by day. Stoicism does not promise ease. It promises strength. Seneca reminded us that life is long if you know how to use it, yet waiting wastes the most valuable resource you possess: time. Not time in years, but time in moments. Each delayed action is a moment surrendered to hesitation. Each decisive action is a moment reclaimed. This is why everything shifts. You stop living as if time is endless and start living as if it matters. You do not need a sign. You do not need confidence. You do not need the perfect plan. Those are comforts the mind asks for when it is afraid to move. The Stoic path is narrower and harder: act according to reason now, accept the outcome without complaint, and repeat. That is how waiting ends. That is how strength is built. The moment you stop waiting, you stop living in anticipation and start living in alignment. And when that happens, life does not become easier, but it becomes honest. And an honest life, guided by discipline and courage, is a life that moves forward whether fear approves or not.